What you doing picking in them people's window?
And we welcome you back. It is another edition of For the Record Dash Radio. Alongside the usual suspects, Jamal to my left, PR to my right. I'm Eitan, and we have a jam-packed show as always. And you know what, fellas? With NBA in the air, there were a couple of comments that were made about duos. Because everything regarding the Golden State Warriors, everything regarding LeBron James is built on legacy. It all comes down to where they stand in the test of time. So Jeff Van Gundy decided to enter the ring and get in this conversation as well. And he said, now this is Jeff Van Gundy that I'm paraphrasing, so don't come down on me, because this ain't me, that Kevin Durant and Steph Curry are the best duo of all time. To which Shaquille O'Neal got on Instagram and responded and put up a list of 8 historic duos of all time that he thinks are better than the two mentioned. So you look at some of these names, and they're usual suspects that pop out, right? Where you have, if it's Bird McHale that goes back, if it's Scotty and Mike and Scotty.
Facts.
LeBron James is only used once on that list, and that's with Dwayne Wade.
Okay.
Why?
And then you start to see some other names as well on here, too. You want to go back to Kobe and Shaq. And then you get a little outside the box with Magic and Kareem, Tim Duncan, David Robinson. And the last one, Karl Malone, John Stockton, who we know are ringless as well.
Yeah.
So you look at that list compared to what we've seen, and I know that we're seeing some amazing basketball with the Golden State Warriors, but as much as the whole team comparison starts, it's difficult for me to think that this is the best duo of all time. NBA Jam rules or not.
They ain't done shit. They haven't done shit yet. They don't have a legendary season. They're on the brink, granted, of a championship unless Cleveland runs off 4 wins. But what body of work do they have? They played together for 1 season. As disrespectful to Clay, because Clay's been there. They had a 73-win season together. They've done shit together. They're the Splash Brothers. They're a duo with a name.
Shit.
They won without KD. KD went to a championship caliber team, and he's like, let me get some pussy with y'all. Like, he didn't go and make a team better. He was up 3-1 on the Warriors and shit the bed with Westbrook, an MVP. That could have been a great duo. But they haven't done anything to have a body of work where you say, oh, no, that's an all-time great duo. Jordan and Pippen, rings. Karl Malone and Stockton, no rings, but a series of excellence that, like, the entire time they were together until Karl Malone sold out and went to Los Angeles trying to chase a ring with his foolish-ass broad shoulders and still came up short.
He did the first LeBron.
He's listening to
Facts. Facts. He went to the first super team, but like these players actually have legacies. These duos have legacies. You can't say this when y'all haven't even finished them. They might fuck up. They might still lose. It's an outside chance, but they might still lose. So you can't go calling KD the GOAT when LeBron James is still breathing, when Michael Jordan is still breathing and wearing wide leg pants. You can't call KD the GOAT, and you can't call them an all-time great duo when they haven't done anything to be given that distinction.
How much of it is what you can look at, though, PR, with the skill right now? And I mean, Jamal's right, with careers aren't over, but we've been doing that with LeBron since he won that first chip. And I'm not part of, like, he's better or worse than Jordan, but the general conversation.
LeBron's also been 14 years of putting his foot in asses.
True.
Like,
I'm saying,
that's a
though,
legacy of greatness.
Is it a matter of you need to see them complete, or can you look at the skill? Like Durant, we know is going to hold up in any era, and we know that Durant's
He's a quality
gonna be,
player. I'm taking
unguardable on any era.
They could be an all-time great duo.
But
They
not yet.
could be, but they're
not
not
yet.
there yet. They haven't played a complete season yet. There should be some criteria for you naming people all-time greats. Finish 1 season together. One.
Not even win a chip, just finish the season.
Play
Do
one
some-
complete
do
season.
something.
Have an off season where y'all ignore each other's phone calls, and then have the awkward training camp.
Let us know
Like,
that you're
get
going to
through
be
the-
there together
you know
next
what I'm
year.
saying?
They might not be together next year. Who knows? We don't
Nike
know.
and Under Armour might separate those motherfuckers real quick.
Durant's going to take a pay cut. You watch.
Yeah,
These
somebody gotta get
motherfuckers
out of
ain't going-
town.
No, nobody's going anywhere. They're going to have this thing locked up for the next 4 years.
Nah, yo,
This
Klay
is the
Thompson.
future of the NBA.
Klay Thompson going full David Ruffin on motherfuckers.
But
Yo,
I
Klay
just-
Thompson.
Only if Durant doesn't take a pay cut. They got Thompson's rights for the next 2 years.
Once Durant gets 1 ring, he's not taking a pay cut. He would take a pay cut for that first ring. But once you get that ring, I'm not taking a pay cut. Kiss my ass.
And I'm the
Well, it's
second
gonna
best.
coincide
You know
at
what I'm
the same
saying?
time.
I got an MVP. I'm an all-world player. Nah.
He's going to have to do it as far as making that decision at the same time if he's going to the
Klay
ring or not.
Thompson's going to look marvelous in a Timberwolves jersey.
He's going to the Sixers.
I just have a question.
Sixers got more currency. Watch him trade that 19 Kings pick. Yes.
My question: if you have Steph and KD on here that didn't play a year yet, a full year, didn't win anything yet, why couldn't we have LeBron and Kyrie up there, and LeBron twice? Why they won the championship?
Well, you can make the argument that LeBron and Kyrie might be a better duo than Steph and Durant.
I don't think LeBron and Kyrie is an all-time great duo.
Yeah,
I mean, if you have,
put them
I'm just
up.
saying, if you have KD and Steph that haven't won anything yet,
Well, is that the
right?
only
They
criteria?
didn't do anything yet.
'Cause we're
They
not
didn't do
talking about
anything.
talent.
But you didn't
We're
have
just
them.
talking about talent, right?
The talent. Look at those talent. Look at that. LeBron.
I don't think
and
Kyrie. I don't think Kyrie makes it for a fan. Like, you could put me in a Michael Jackson video. It's gonna be a fly ass video. I might not be able to dance for shit, but it's still gonna be a dope ass video. That's because Michael Jackson's gonna be carrying the shit.
Right.
So anybody with LeBron James, like, I could get with LeBron James, we're an all world duo.
We're talking
but
about
he's
Kyrie.
bringing up that average.
Come on, we're talking
No,
about
Kyrie is a
Kyrie.
phenomenal player, but I don't think they deserve
Who's
that.
a better point
all-world
guard,
duo
Kyrie or
distinction.
Steph?
No, look at him.
Kyrie.
No, Kyrie, right? Who's the best player in the world? LeBron, right? So you have the best point guard, the best player together, playing together, and you're telling me we're talking about
Okay,
Steph
but
and
Kyrie's
Durant?
not-
Kyrie, he's a better point guard. Kyrie's just a better
Kyrie's not the
shooter.
best in his position. Let's just put that out there.
No. Steph is actually facilitating more than Kyrie. Come on, LeBron is the main facilitator. What's
Kyrie-
Kyrie averaging? Under 4 assists a
Steph
night?
is getting triple doubles without even
That's it.
blinking.
No,
But I think
it
if-
might be easier for Steph. I'll give you that.
He's the best scorer.
And here's
He's
the
best
thing: if you
shooter
look at the
see.
other duos that they've listed, these people are all the best at their position. So that's the first step. You can't, like, Wade was the top shooting guard in the league at the time. LeBron, top small forward.
So Wade comes into this conversation. Here's the difference, I think, with Wade and Kyrie, right? Wade comes into this conversation with a resume where he's won with Shaq.
Right.
He was the main catalyst on that team that won with Shaq. Outside of Shaq, I mean, he was
He was an
number one
MVP.
guy. Right.
Wade was an MVP.
So Kyrie doesn't have that yet. So I don't want to say that he can't be, but I feel like I'm more with Jamal, where it's like I need to see more of an extension of Kyrie and LeBron to where it's not just one.
I need
player.
to see Kyrie be better than John Wall. I need to see Kyrie be better than Steph.
We're
Then I'm
talking
put-
about these guys that didn't even win. They didn't play season yet.
But I'm talking about
Kyrie and
at your
Durant.
position.
You're right.
So how we have that in the conversation and not Kyrie
Okay.
and LeBron?
Joel Embiid is a top 20 talent, right? They didn't win.
played 31 games.
There's plenty of people who are top talents that don't win, or don't win by themselves.
So let me ask you, when you look at this list, is there anybody that Shaq has put up so far on this list that we've talked about that you would not take over Durant and Steph? So let's start there, right? Because we can argue who's the greatest
Okay.
duo. We can look at the inner discussions of all that. It's For the Record alongside Jamal, PR, Aton here. We got a jam-packed show. We're just getting started, too.
Just getting started.
But is there anybody right now that you can look at on this list and say, you know what? I'm taking KD and Steph over them.
Maybe Stockton Malone.
I know. I was looking at them, too.
Maybe that's their
Just because
the only
they didn't
ones who
win,
look
right?
Funny in the light, because I'm looking at by the same criteria that I gave to Kyrie, where I'm like, you got to be the best point guard in the league. Stockton wasn't the best, but he was the best facilitator by far. So where he didn't have athleticism, like he could set the table better than anyone. So
He's also a hell of a stealer.
a hell of a stealer and was fighty. Like he had a ton of fight, so he can get to the lane. Like he's scrappy as shit. Scrappy was the word I'm looking for. So. But
Durant, though, and LeBron, and Malone, it's like the old school four.
let's go NBA Jam
Versus
on it.
the new.
We're putting them 2-on-2.
Yeah, I like this.
Let's put them 2-on-2.
What you
We
think
do
is
it
gonna
bracket
happen?
style. We do it.
So, NBA Jam style. What you think is going to happen? He's on fire, Curry. He's on fire.
Curry could be pulling from his own hoop.
But do you think Karl Malone's letting that shit happen, or you think Karl Malone's
He's
chasing
going to
more
body you.
threes?
It's going to body you.
Right.
down there.
I don't know how you guard Durant. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's a okay. So
So
they
let's
might
look at
be
that matchup first.
so they might be the hardest duo to match up with.
Yes.
That's maybe the statement that they should have
Yeah.
said. That's what Van Gundy should have said. They're the
Yeah.
hardest duo to match up with.
Yeah.
That I give them all day.
All right, so let's look at that real quick. Let's go through this. So, Stockton and Malone versus Steph Durant. Who do you give the matchup to?
Steph Durant. Steph Durant.
Okay, now LeBron Wade. We're talking, before Wade's knees look shot.
Yes.
And LeBron's hair is worse than mine. So, before all that shit, when they're prime in Miami.
Steph Durant in a push. I got Steph Durant. I got Steph Durant winning 11-9. Only because I feel like Steph is stretching the floor a little bit more.
Yeah, but how is he going to stop Wade?
I feel like LeBron he just does everything.
Oh yeah, this is prime LeBron. No, you're right. That's
prime. This
that's
is like
okay,
Kawhi
my
Leonard
fault,
was
my fault.
glued on LeBron, and he
My
was still
fault.
doing
We got
it.
to.
Then you gotta
If it's
stop-
win by
okay,
two,
hold on, hold on.
it's 12-10. It's 12-10 Wade LeBron. I'm sorry, I
Yeah,
rethought
we got
it.
him.
Calm down, PR. Let me reevaluate, baby. Let me reevaluate.
Now nobody's gonna take these two over Kobe and Shaq, right?
Nah, Kobe and Shaq gonna make them shit their
Yeah,
pants.
yeah, Kobe and Shaq. Kobe and Shaq.
Prime Kobe?
Yeah.
Prime Kobe?
Prime Shaq, no.
You're not shooting over. So Durant, not Durant, but Durant might not shoot over Prime Kobe either, but Curry's not shooting over Prime Kobe.
Right.
You're talking about Kobe
That's
with 5
lockdown,
inches
yeah.
of height,
Yeah.
like 3, maybe 4 inches of height, maybe not 5, speed and lateral quickness and strength.
I'm with you.
He's beating the shit out of Curry.
You got lockdown
Yeah.
material right
Yeah.
there. And,
And
Shaq,
then,
you know.
Yeah,
Shaq.
and then Shaq,
Well,
you're not
the
going to bring it in
problem is,
against
like,
him.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, well, hold on a second. Who's more likely to get the better of that matchup? Is it Durant is going to get over on Shaq, or is it Shaq's going to get over on Durant? Because
Shaq's going to kill Durant down low.
down low every single
Durant
time.
has to hope that jump shot is clicking something
Every
fierce.
time, yeah.
Like, he can't have a single
He'll
off
do
moment.
whatever he wants
Right.
with the ball, though, if he gets Shaq outside the key.
But why Shaq going to be outside the key?
You got a three-point shot, you got to defend it.
Shaq is not
Durant.
going all the way there. He's going to let
Nah.
you shoot.
You going to let Durant shoot? Durant's one of the best shooters of all
But
time.
Kobe is still flowing out
You got me
there.
agreeing with Jamal.
Kobe
You have
is
to
still
hit it every
flowing out
So
there.
time.
y'all wanted a 1-1 zone?
100%.
Okay.
I'll run them in zone.
Okay.
With Kobe and Shaq, absolutely.
Okay.
As much ground as those two motherfuckers cover,
Magic
100%.
Kareem on the 1-1 zone here. Now, see, I don't think Magic can stick with Steph.
Nah, that's Stephen Durant.
Oh, my
I got Stephen
Yeah,
Durant. Nah.
Here come the old man.
Okay.
Here come the old man.
Whoa.
Watch out.
We forget that
Whoa.
PR was doing his senior
Whoa,
thesis
and,
at the
and
time.
Steph is going to
that-
stop Magic, and Durant is going to stop Kareem.
I
Really?
mean, it's a 2-on-2 game.
Right.
See, Kareem.
So let's go the other way. You're only going
Yeah.
one way.
And
Let's go the
Kareem
other
can
way.
play
They're going to
outside,
stick them.
too. We gotta
Yes.
back
Kareem did have outside defense.
And how they going
All
to
right,
block that
PR.
that hook
All right,
shot?
so we give you Kareem and Magic. Or we give you
That's
Kareem
a
and
tight
Magic.
one. No,
There's
but
always
you
the
just
one
can't give
old
it to
dude
them.
in the barbershop that got all the night. He's like, what y'all young folks gonna do to
Hey,
stop
who's going to be
Kareem?
rocking Marciano?
Now, this is an interesting one.
He whooped
because
Rocky Marciano's ass.
You have to remember, before Larry Bird hurts his back, he was playing the 4.
He's a fucking
he was,
killer.
Exactly.
He was a killer.
agile. He
Killer.
could play. He could guard
Guarding
the
4
perimeter.
positions, and
Yes.
Kevin McHale was
arms,
a
long
athletic
arms
as well. So-
long arms.
And the thing is as much as Bird will give up Steph, he's going to get it back as well. I mean,
Exactly.
You've got shooter for shooter
Yes,
right there.
yes.
And I think I got Bird as being more consistent than Steph too. I got that shit clicking a lot more often than Steph is.
I think
So
I'm
you
with-
don't think-
So I think I'm with you. Bird,
Yeah.
McHale.
Yeah, I got Bird
It's
McHale.
tight. It's a tight one.
It's tight. They won't
Because
be
Bird
able.
is a shooter, but Curry's the best shooter I've seen.
You've got a competitive game. Tied.
It's not gonna be win by 2. They're gonna have to play straight 21.
Bird.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Bird's going to be
Yeah.
doing
Yeah, I'm
something.
still going with Bird because Bird and
It's
McHale.
Bird McHale because people forget that McHale was a fucking animal.
Yes, he was.
All right. So we've got 2 left, and I'm saving the best for last. This one, I think you can actually make the argument, maybe outside Kobe, Shaq, is talent-wise just the best as far as domination.
Right.
I don't know how they match up in the NBA Jam rules, but Duncan and Robinson, I mean, that's the equivalent of like the modern-day stretch 5-4.
100%.
Yes.
But
Like
you,
that's the
yes.
future right there.
you have to give that to Steph and Durant.
Just because the outside?
Just
Just
outside.
outside.
They're
I mean,
stretching the
Robinson,
floor too much.
Yeah.
Could Robinson theoretically guard Steph?
Hell
I mean,
no.
like, ask yourself, could Embiid, could Thon Maker, could these
They
guys?
could play them for a few possessions,
for the game,
but then
yeah.
they'd get
I'm
exhausted.
with
So
you.
that has to go Steph
All right, so
Durant.
let's do the big one now. There's
You-
no way
you already
anybody's going
know.
to take
You already
Steph
know.
and,
You
and
know who I'm
Durant
taking. You
over
know who
Mike
I'm
and
taking.
Scotty, right?
You see the logo on the shoes. You know who I'm taking.
You already know.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right. We're jam packed. We're just getting started. Alongside PR, Jamal, Aton. It is all for the record. We welcome you back. It is For the Record alongside Jamal, PR, Aton, and talking a lot about the NBA, of course, with the finals, the Warriors, and LeBron James, everything happening there. A lot off the court. Not only was it Jeff Van Gundy's comments regarding who may be the best duo of all time, but Kevin Durant made a couple of statements, remarks back in 2014 about Kawhi Leonard and the Spurs, specifically about Kawhi being a product of that system, was asked again about it and kind of doubled down and said, I stand by these remarks. It's not necessarily, hey, Kevin Durant just took a shot at Kawhi, but it opens up a fascinating conversation because you've got a team that has a true team that has dominated for 10, 14 years over the course of a span in which every other championship that was won outside of the Spurs was either 1 or 2 dominant players.
Right.
So it begs the question, maybe not across the board, fellas, but specifically with the Spurs first, what's product of the system? What's individual talent that's truly leading it? Duncan, Kawhi, if it's Manu, if it's Parker. And then we can look at, other teams and other players as far as coaches that have been successful. Obviously, Phil Jackson comes to mind, although he played or coached a hell of a lot of great players, at least 4 that we know of. So with that said, the Spurs. Let's start there with the Spurs, right? I mean, Kawhi Leonard is where we are right now. Tim Duncan before that. How much of that is really a product of Popovich and the system in such an individualized sport?
I think we have to respect the system, but you also have to understand where that system sometimes gets a singular talent. Like, to liken it to the NFL, like, Belichick has a system, but Tom Brady is probably a singular talent. But that doesn't mean that you can't get, what was the dude's name, fucking Garoppolo, to come in and win 8 games to start the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of it is what they have around them, but it doesn't hurt, and he certainly has had those people. I don't think Kawhi would have been where he was without that system, without getting that chance to shine, like NBA MVP. And then you look at the people that won those, not NBA MVP, sorry, Finals MVP. Then you look at the people that won the MVP awards with Popovich's teams. Like, he spread the table with it.
Right.
Like, Robinson didn't win. Duncan won, fucking Parker won, and Kawhi won. You know what I'm saying? So he spread it around. And, you know, but it also, there's talents that come in sometimes, like LaMarcus Aldridge, who sometimes look funny in the light and don't look like system players because they've been singular talents. So I do think it's system first, but obviously the benefit of a talent is there, but I think that system allows for that talent to develop. Like Phil with Mike and Scotty, like Phil with Shaq and Kobe. Like, you have these talents who are great as standalones, but if you nurture them and bring them along, then they get a chance to shine even better.
I agree with you.
Oh, very rare.
But
But
you couldn't
can't just be harmonious.
I'm still your friend.
It's probably not going to be a good show if the three of us
Right,
agree on
absolutely.
everything
Yeah,
either.
no,
I agree because listen, Pop and Belichick, greatest coaches ever. But when you can take a player, just anybody, and everybody knows this player, that it's obviously the system, right?
Okay.
So it's obviously the system. So now you have these guys that's like Castle. What was his name? Matt Castle?
Yeah.
Played for Belichick. Come on, what was he after he left there?
Trash.
Right. So you
How many players
under
have-
Belichick, and under it comes the coach first for most times. You know, when you have great coaches like that, I don't consider Phil Jackson one of the greatest coaches, like great coach. You had great players.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
No, but then you look at players who
him.
shine in these systems.
Who?
Like,
Who shined in
where's
the system?
Harrison Barnes right now?
That's a great point. Harrison Barnes made a terrible mistake.
And what system was he under?
He was
in
in
Golden State.
Kerr's system.
I mean, Curry's system or Mark
But
Jackson's
Steve
system.
Kerr,
but think about that.
He still was in that system. Though.
Mark
He was in
Jackson-
the Golden State system.
And think about the difference, right? You've got Mark Jackson, and this is not a knock on Mark, it's just the difference of coaches. You've got Mark Jackson, who was able to take that team so far, and then you have Steve Kerr. And the misnomer about it is that Steve Kerr just came in, turned the key, and kept going. But he's doing the things that were done differently that Mark Jackson wasn't doing. Again, Mark Jackson was successful in his own right, but they're running different spacing out
Mark
there.
You got
gave
Mike
him-
Brown. You got Mike Brown looking like he's a top coach.
What?
My mother could coach
man.
that team.
That
Mark
thing
Jackson,
already
no,
set
but
up,
that,
though, by
because that
Brown.
system is in place.
Thank you.
Because that system is in place, Mike Brown
The
can coach.
players are
Because
in
that
place.
system is in place.
Whose system
Luke
is
Walton
it?
can
It's
coach.
Kerr's.
It's Kerr's
Now,
system.
Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson
had that.
gave them their defensive identity.
No.
Kerr gave them their
No.
offensive identity.
If-
I'm
if
bugging.
anything, that's
Steve
Mark
Kerr
Jackson.
said that Mark
That-
Jackson gave them the defensive
They
identity.
changed their system.
All
guys
Steve
are
Curry
still
did, all
doing
Steve
the
Kerr
same
did was
thing
change.
for
Well,
the
yeah, they're
offense.
still winning, correct. But
Right.
So why didn't they win a championship with Mark
They didn't have
Jackson?
enough time yet.
They didn't
Mark
have
Jackson
Kerr's
molded
offense.
them, got them together, and there you go. Here you go.
Because
Steve
they didn't
Kerr.
have Kerr's
Do it.
offense.
Oh, I
They had the
think,
same offense.
No, they didn't.
I disagree
You know,
vehemently.
It's
on
the
that.
same guys that's shooting,
You just
moving the
started
ball.
watching
and-
the NBA, baby.
No.
Come on, now they did not have the same offense.
That's the same offense, same team. It was just move the ball, the same players, the same reaction.
so Kerr.
My
Curry,
mother could coach that team.
She's got a magnificent outside shot. And she's a defensive-minded powerhouse. All due respect to that queen.
Come on, you're acting like
But-
Mark Jackson was that
Okay,
point
so
guard.
if that
He was a
system was-
better
if
point
that
guard, so
system
he
was in
knew
place-
exactly how to move those players.
If that system was
Klay
in place,
Thompson,
where was
everybody.
Curry's? Where was Curry's
players
30
don't
point
make good
average?
coaches, though.
Where was Curry's
really
scoring
don't.
title? Where was Curry's scoring title and average if that system
He
was
just
in
got
place?
them. He just molded them. So I guarantee you, if it was the next year,
So then
that
it was the
that Kerr
coach
had
if he
them,
just molded them.
it was the coach that
But based
molded
off
everything
what?
So
together.
then it
You
was
can't
the
give him
coach,
that
is what you're
benefit of the
saying.
hypothetical,
But,
right?
but the coach got them together. That's his system. Mark Jackson, and then Steve Kerr did the rest.
Who's to say
Just
they
sit
wouldn't have
down there.
lost a lead in the Western Conference? Who's to say that they wouldn't have lost in the finals? Who's to say they wouldn't have got knocked out in the second round that following week?
With
Right,
Mark
so that's a
Jackson, they'd be-
hypothetical that we can't then benefit Mark Jackson.
They'd be shutting teams down, but they'd also only be scoring 90 points a game.
Let's get back to one guy because you brought up Belichick and Brady, and that's
Yes.
the old chicken or the egg thing. But real quick, something that's changed because I think that you can look at the Spurs the first time around before Kawhi emerges as the dominant player that he is. The Spurs, the first time around, that's true system. Now, listen, Duncan's dominant, don't get me wrong.
Right.
And you've got Parker and Manu, who are, top 20, top 25 guys on a nightly basis. But it's still so much more of that system where other guys are coming in. There's a difference now. I'm not saying that it's not a system or that Kawhi is not a product of it, but you can see that Kawhi is the first guy to touch the ball. He's moving. He's touching the ball again. He's facilitating. He's also taking the last shot more times than not.
Right.
So he's becoming, if not ball dominant, at least possession dominant.
Because
the system has changed.
The system is changing, but they're also taking Kawhi from that player in the system to that dominant force. You know what I'm saying? He's getting the chance to
him on
evolve.
steroids.
The system is getting a chance to evolve around him, or to kind of conform to who he's becoming. So versus him being like the out of nowhere MVP player or the Finals MVP player, and to be a defensive player of the year, it's now okay. You're our guy. We've identified you as our guy, and it didn't happen for Tony Parker because Tony Parker wasn't as physically as imposing as Kawhi and couldn't play as many positions as Kawhi.
And Tony Parker had Tim Duncan in there, Ginobili,
Also-
and everything else. So
also
it's like,
that,
all right,
fact.
remember, like Popovich doesn't look at one player to be his superstar. That's just not.
I mean,
right? He wants
Kawhi's
the whole
not
team.
lacking for secondary talent though. Like Pau Gasol, LaMarcus Aldridge, like he has pieces around him.
That
He doesn't have a Tim Duncan.
19
He doesn't have- yeah.
over this Warrior squad
Yeah.
before Zaza knocks out
yeah.
Kawhi. I mean, let's be honest. Is
Hitman-
Golden State really
Hitman
coming back
Pachulia.
from that game?
Nah, they took their
Down
soul.
19, right.
They took their soul.
So if
until-
Kawhi doesn't get hurt, that's a whole different conversation that
Right.
we can have where maybe
Exactly.
it's not LeBron and Cleveland round 3 against Golden State. Now, again, that would be the only team that really gave any type of fits to them. So it's interesting to look at it from the NBA because you have a small example or two of maybe the Spurs and something. Maybe you could look at Doc's Celtic squad. Maybe you could look at Larry Brown's. I'm thinking of teams that weren't running the triangle.
Okay.
That won a championship.
See,
right?
Doc's
Because
squad-
everybody else is pretty much running the triangle, right? Houston back in the day was running it. The Lakers clearly were running it. Everybody who's winning multiple, the Spurs are running a variation of the triangle with those three, and now with Kawhi and other guys around them. So you've got teams for the most part that are successful running it. I'm trying to think of the outliers, like that Pistons squad in 04.
What were they? They weren't. They weren't. I'm trying to think of what kind of offense they ran.
It was just like running rip all over the place.
That was it.
And Chauncey was that power, like that power dribbler
yeah.
point who could take you down low.
It was a four-man
It was a
perimeter.
slow
It was a four-man
down,
perimeter
yeah,
with
big
somebody in the
bang.
middle. You
East
park
Coast.
somebody in the middle.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
So down East Coast.
And Boston wasn't running that triangle, even though they had three
No,
guys.
Boston also ran the four-man perimeter.
Correct.
With one down low.
Correct. So I don't know if you can look. See, that's another thing too, right? Are you going to say, well, Kevin Garnett isn't a product of that 1 year that he won a chip because he has such a resume outside of that? That's why it's difficult to try to qualify, how much that system has made these players.
Well, they tried the triangle in New York
They
Phil
tried the
Jackson's
triangle with
supposed
one
to be,
side.
you
They
know,
tried the triangle with one side.
with one side.
It's like we got the triangle, we got Carmelo without thinking what those other two pieces were. And Phil Jackson's thinking was, oh, well, this has worked for me before, so it's just going to work now. You had two all-world talents, two top
Thank you.
50 all-time NBA players.
Unbelievable.
You could put me in the triangle with Jordan and Pippen, and
Yes.
we're winning the chip.
Yes. So does that make that coach?
Oprah could play in that fucking triangle, and they're absolutely taking. They're winning 72 games.
So in that case, now is it the coach? It was a system, or was it the players?
It's a system designed for dominant players.
for dominant players like that.
But that goes
That's
without
why,
saying.
that's
I
why
mean,
teams are winning.
and
with
it might be that they
system.
go hand in hand.
Yeah, I think it's more that.
But-
Now, real quick, though, let's look at, because we got a couple of minutes here. It's for the record,
Yep.
Jamal PR, Aton. Now,
You know.
Yes.
let's look at this real quick. Chicken or the egg? Because a franchise quarterback now more than ever, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win a Super Bowl every year, but you know you're in the dance, right? Like Andrew Luck in Indianapolis, they can be a shit show by week 11, but you know every year you're coming into it with a chance because you got a franchise
The
quarterback.
Giants are never out of it.
Correct, because
We're never out of it.
But that's a good example because 2 years ago, the last year actually, you saw that really 2 years ago, and even somewhat last season, despite them winning double-digit games, where McAdoo's system was just not fit for the quarterback at first, and you
Right.
saw Eli, and people were pointing the finger. Oh, Eli sucks. He's taking, and all of a sudden you realize, well, hold on a second. What the fuck is this guy running here? Where you've got these receivers and this quarterback, it wasn't a fit. Whereas in the NBA, I feel like a bad coach will always be overshadowed by dominant talent.
100%.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
such a major difference in the NFL. And you saw that up close with McAdoo and Eli.
Yes.
100%.
I agree
Yeah,
with you. Give me the chicken though.
So the chicken or the egg would be
Give me the chicken. I'm getting more
Brady
eggs.
Belichick.
Getting more eggs. Give me the chicken.
So which one's the chicken? Brady or
system is
Belichick?
Belichick, man. I see what he did to other
So then the
quarterbacks.
system is the chicken.
Only
So
one
then you're
year.
going back on what you said, where it's the
No,
egg
I'm going.
that's-
No, I said before. I'm
You
going
said
with
it was
the.
player first. You never said it was
No,
system first.
no, I said the system. I said you gotta go with the system.
You said you gotta go with the player.
Let's go back to the tape. Let's go back to the tape.
Once we
I said it's all
rewind,
about the coach because I said
dinner
Belichick.
on you.
In the NFL, you said it's all about the system, all about the coach.
All about the coach.
Okay, so that would be the chicken in that case, and Brady would
Right.
be the egg that was hatched.
Right.
The system is
right.
the chicken, the player is the egg.
Now you can make the argument
Right.
that nothing has been won without Brady, despite, of course.
He hasn't stopped, but if you have another quarterback, I'm sure that Belichick will make him into another Brady.
We only saw one example, and that was Matt Castle. And
That
that
was what he did.
But also, what was the example you just gave earlier about? I think it was basketball, that a team had already been built for somebody coming in, right? Can't you make the argument that Matt Castle steps into a team that had already been built? I
Did
mean, look
Belichick
at
coach
that
Drew
talent
Bledsoe?
that was on that team with Matt Castle. Yeah, Bledsoe was there before Brady comes in. Remember,
But Belichick
Frederick?
coached him, right?
Correct,
Right.
correct.
So then you do need that transcendent talent. You need the egg. If the chicken can't create an egg, what the fuck is the chicken?
He did that for Bledsoe, and Bledsoe sucked up. Then he got him up out of there. Brady took his job,
Well, Bledsoe gets hurt, and Brady
but he
steps
was looking
in.
real good.
but not
right?
not to the level at which Brady. is.
No, not to Brady's level.
Yeah,
no.
Bledsoe
That's
looked
why
good,
this
but Bledsoe's
conversation
fingers are
is tough.
butt naked.
Because before he went to New England, Bledsoe was there. Where was he before that? Was it Buffalo after he left New England?
Yeah, it was after he left.
After
New
he
England.
left New
Yeah,
England.
Yeah,
And that was it. That was it for Bledsoe. Like,
You also had Belichick, and listen, I don't know what would happen if he stayed in Cleveland. Clearly, the thing with the Jets wasn't going to happen. We know that. So you also have a failed head coach in the NFL before this marriage, which is so difficult because I don't know which way to side. Because I recognize that Brady is dynamic and transcends, but at the same time, all right, here's why we'll side,
I think it's
with
system
Belichick.
before player, only because a player has never won a championship by themselves. They've always won a championship in a system.
And in the NFL, I think you have to side with that. And here's
Absolutely,
something that Belichick is doing that I don't know if anybody in sports is the way in which he fucking takes people off the scrap heap. Where
Absolutely.
he's not even drafting
Absolutely.
guys any like receivers. I saw this quote. It was some Boston Herald shit. And they quoted him, and he was giving away. He never gives away anything, and he was just giving away this little tidbit about the draft and about receivers. And he's like, "Yo, it's gotten to the point where we barely even look at wide receivers coming out of college because it's impossible to really judge how they're going to transfer over the game. Give me a guy who's been in the league for 3 years that a team's going to give up on. That's the guy that I'm going to put money on." And I'm thinking to myself, like, "Yo, this is why you have former lacrosse players up in New England that are fucking winning Super Bowls."
who was that guy, that receiver they had this season was just going to.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
He's a
I don't
lacrosse
remember
player.
his name. He was lacrosse player. He was
Yeah.
killing the Steelers. I'm like, who is it? That's Belichick making you wide open every goddamn time.
That's like Popovich shit, where you just mine and talent.
System.
Yeah.
System.
Yeah. So it's
Right.
So we end it like
system
that.
before player. I was right. PR was wrong.
Here we go again.
That's kind of like the MO, I think, of the show.
That's
Yeah,
that's
right?
what it's gonna be.
Right.
yo.
No,
That's what it's
Jamal's
gonna
right.
be.
Jamal
PR's
sized me up
wrong.
as soon as he walked in there. He sized me
For
up.
the
man.
record, I'm right.
That's
For
it.
the record,
That's
I'm
it.
right.
All right, we want to thank our BOCI Standard Producers of the Week, Mark Bird, Sci-Hi the Prince, Jeremiah Twister, Fabulous, you know him from that, and also Nick Wiz, the Cellar Dwellers, Royce the 5'9", and God, Rock Cam, alongside Jamal, PR, 8-time Shander. It is For the Record.
Rakim.
We welcome you back For the Record alongside Jamal and PR. I am Eitan. Now we are joined by two guests, one on the phone, one very special guest that we are very honored and thankful to have in studio with us. On the phone, you know him from For the Record, Sneaker Sensei. What's happening, Jay?
I'm chilling, bro.
What's
I
up,
am
Sensei?
just chilling, living the life.
Well, we got a special treat for you. PR is going to tell you all about who's chilling with us for the next couple of minutes here in studio.
What's happening?
It's
there,
Colin
Sneaks?
Kaepernick.
Nah,
No, it's better than Cap.
I don't know if it's better, but it's close. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. I got our dear friend, Steve Lobel. Let me give you a live hand clap for my brother right here.
Thank you so much.
Steve, my fellow Queens brethren,
Yes,
Steve
sir.
Lobel, the hip hop legend. I call him a legend because he had so much he had his hand in so much of hip hop, from Run DMC to Bone Thugs and Harmony. To, like you could go from East Coast to Midwest to West Coast.
3-6.
3-6. Everybody, right?
Yeah, the South.
That's a long list.
South was Suave House with 8 Ball and MJG, South Circle, Tila, Mr. Mike. The Midwest was Dayton Family. The Bay Area was Mac Mall and the Loonies. The West Coast was Easy, rest in peace. New York was Run DMC, rest in peace to my mentor Jam Master Jay.
And then to come up to the Nipsey Hussles and everything.
And then, you know, Bone Thugs and Harmony Midwest. And you're right, Nipsey Hussle, West Coast. So
You said, yeah, you're right.
That's a quality LinkedIn.
I forget sometimes.
I'm going to give you one
It's an
more other name
all-star
that you made
lineup.
famous too. OG Ted.
OG Ted, my dad, man. God bless him. 83 years old.
Yes.
Man, it's OG Ted, man. A lot of the celebs and a lot of artists and a lot of just real people love my dad, and he's still alive, man. So I'm blessed to have him in my life.
Yeah, good, man.
So Jay, Steve is rocking this ill shirt right here, and basically, Steve, if you could describe it real quick. And all we're gonna do real quick too, because
Yeah,
this is
I will
live
definitely
radio.
describe it.
We're on a spot right here.
You got to tell Sneakers.
PR, help Steve out and just
All right.
put his mic up just a little bit right
there
there.
you go.
All right.
Shout out to my man Chase Jones who helped me design it. But basically,
Quality garment.
This is ill.
It says we working.
Yeah, my brand is We Working on Instagram, and I always hashtagging We Working. It became a trend, and I was like, I need to make a shirt and spell it out like with who's me and what represents me, so to speak. But there was a lot more I wanted to put in, but I couldn't because certain things didn't match. But I try to put as much as I can that fit.
But
But, you know,
now spell we. We got the we.
we got
with
the
duck.
Wu-Tang, but that's Steve Rifkin. We got Easy, which is, you know, I work with. West Side Connection, his family, Public Enemy.
Oh.
All for Run DMC. Knicks, because that's my favorite basketball team.
Okay.
You know, you see the spray paint,
Spray paint.
because that's what hip-hop
Hip-hop,
really
yes,
is.
graffiti.
Besides DJing and breakdancing.
That's for the eye.
And then the Yankees, I'm OG Ted's favorite team.
The end.
And then the Giants, I'm a Giants fan.
Poor thing.
And then
But
the
the G.
Adidas, because you know I'm from Queens.
I was definitely
There you
about to
go.
ask you about the NY, but you said that's OG Ted's team.
Yankees.
'Cause
I'm a Mets fan.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because it should have been a Mets end on there.
Right. We can.
But
And it's Queens.
if that's attributed to the OG, then
And
that
we're,
is what it
we're
is.
letting that slide.
PR, we can't let you talk about no sports because when you said that Giants G, you said something greasy.
But
We're
I
not
agreed
gonna
with you
allow
on that. I was agreeing with you
Wait,
on
what's
that.
your NFL team?
Steelers.
That's why we can't talk sports.
All right.
I'm down to talk sports too, though. I love sports.
Let's talk sports, man. Let's talk sports, Steve.
This guy.
He has to come with everything here, from the Pirates to the Steelers.
You're
That's
from
that
Philly.
Queen swag.
Enough.
He's just- look
Yeah, I
at
know.
the
That's
hat.
why I have a problem with it.
Look how everything
Jamal has a
matches.
problem looking at my black and yellow too.
I know what the better team is.
I'm
That's
surprised
all.
you're in the Jets and Giants fan, but you know it's that Queen shit. He's
He's a Jets fan also. He's got multiple
Surprised he
teams.
ain't in with Adidas though, and the Sox.
Yeah, but you can't be a Jets and Steelers fan.
Do you know when the
Now
NFL
you're
season
ODing.
starts? You really
It starts
rushing
now,
ain't you?
now
man.
you're OD and
Rushing it,
you're
ain't
OD.
you?
Starts now. Let's go, man.
I think
A
it's
little
like
bit
90, 90 days or something till kickoff.
I can't wait.
You probably have that clock and everything.
I can't wait. I wait.
Absolutely. So PR, as mentioned, you've got stories after stories, right? So let's start more recent, and then we can kind of work back. Thursday, you were part of something just amazing up in the Bronx for hip hop.
It was legendary, man. You know, thank you to my brother Fat Joe, and rest in peace to Big Pun. Joe invited me up to the Bronx for the Hip Hop Boulevard renaming sign in front of Cool Herc's apartment building. And hip hop started in the Bronx. Yeah, I'm Sedgwick.
Major.
Didn't start in the Bronx. But go ahead.
You know, I'm from Queens, so we over there debating. Funkmaster
It
Flex
started
was
in
up
the Bronx,
there.
but Queens refined it.
Funk Flex was there. Fat Joe, Remy Ma, Papoose, Curtis Blow,
Roxanne Shante.
Roxanne Shante, Slick Rick, Sal from the Fever. Who else was there, man?
They should have got some big names up there.
Man, there was
Doesn't sound like
those are
anybody
big
was
names.
really-
Oh, hold
Nah,
on.
I'm joking.
Cardi B was there. Is that a big name for you? You know, that's not hip hop. Like, please. Well, come on, like Cool Herc, like
Nah, those are major
Dougie
names.
Fresh was there,
Obviously, those
Slick
are major
Rick.
Was Cardi B
names.
really there?
yeah.
That's so. Does
Yeah.
hip hop know Cardi B?
See
I
how
don't
excited
know,
PR got?
man.
Was Cardi B really there?
I don't know.
Did you tell her I said
She's
hi?
relevant right now.
I just want to
of
know,
course,
does hip
but
hop know her? And that's your
Yeah,
thing.
hip hop don't know you.
Right.
Who else was there, Buddha? Damn, you were taking all those flicks, man. Oh, shout out to Wa from Rough Riders came through. I mean, Kid Capri was there,
Wow.
Funk Flex, Busy B. Man, there's a lot of people.
No
there.
shortage of loot.
Rest in peace, Larry Smith. Because you know he produced for Run DMC, but
Run
also
DMC, yes,
produced in the
yes.
Bronx. So
Yes.
his son was there. There was a lot of legendary people there, man. I don't have to go backwards on my Instagram in a couple of days to see who we took pictures with, but it was legendary. And hip hop has become such a big brand over 40 years. And in Queens, where we're from, we have the JMJ Run DMC Way, and Fife Dog just got a street named after him. So it's just a blessing to see people give back. And the borough president of the Bronx is the coolest guy I ever met in my life. The guy rapped, and it was just amazing.
So,
The borough
Ruben?
president of the Bronx.
Ruben, right?
Yeah, amazing guy.
Quality
amazing guy.
dude. He's a very quality dude.
All right,
Special
now,
guy.
speaking of rapping, we were told that you got something coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. Matt Fingers, he
finagled
called me
something,
one
right?
day and he finagled me and he was like, I want you to rap. And he set me the fuck up. But you know what? It came out dope, Khalil on the beats. And I'm
Who
representing.
said it came out dope? Just
No,
you say
not
it?
me. Shit, I'm the worst on that.
You crowd
Did you write your own
sourced it, right?
verse? You wrote your
no,
own verse?
Matt
Matt
wrote
wrote
it.
your- Matt
Roach
wrote it?
wrote it.
Oh.
He told me he wanted Scott Storch to get on. I've been managing Scott Storch for like a year now, the legend. So he got Scott on it. Khalil did the beat, and Matt's up to something. But I don't know. I got some lines. I forgot. I said, "Damn, I wonder what the verse is on Matt. Help me out."
That's
You
why
remember-
Matt's been dressing like OVO 40 recently. He's on this.
I've been working since Juicy J and Run DMC. Rest in peace, JMJ, Mommy Lobel, and Easy E. So,
You was name dropping.
Yeah, you
Look
can
at
catch.
that.
You can catch me in the. You can catch me in. No, with the Pyrus in the game, and you can catch. No, but how to start? You can catch me out in Compton with a game and a bunch of Pyrus. You can catch me out in the neighborhood with making money with Big U. Shout out Nipsey, like I was doing ad libs, all types of shit.
Shout out to Big U. You know what? I want to ask you, Steve, because there's not a lot of people that could actually, especially for a white dude coming from Queens, to have that pass to go. He could go to West Coast, deal with all the gang members, right, and still get that pass. Come to East Coast, deal with everybody that's the OGs or whatever, still the streets. Like, was it because of the hip hop that made you be able to do this and what you did for the artist, or was it just genuine love? Because I know Big U actually has a lot of love for you, and it's not just because of music.
Yeah, that's my fam, but it's funny you say that, but I live off respect. And a long time ago, like I was able to move around in the corporate offices, dealing with executives, and I was also able to deal with the studio and the streets. And I deal with a lot of street dudes because if you're in the music industry, you gotta be the streets and deal with the streets. And I went out to LA over 20 years ago with Eazy-E, and he passed away, and I stayed out there. And Big U's like family, so when he came home from, he did a 14-year bid. When he came home, we have mutual friends, and we just connected. And we really family, genuinely, like organically and genuine. It's never like, yo, do this, do that. It's brotherly love. We're both Sagittariuses, and we both helped Nipsey out. And, he's one of the realest guys and very smart. Read a lot of books. He's got a lot going on. And I think that I get passes because I give respect. And I earn respect. I give respect. And it's not even about the music, it's just being a real guy. And I'm not cocky. I'm confident that I'm cut from a different cloth. I got integrity, morals, principles, and loyalty. So I get respected from a lot of people in a lot of places that a lot of people wouldn't go to.
That's what's up.
Matt, Aton, you taking those lessons? Because you can move around like that too. You gotta go move around with the Bloods and got those guys over there, man.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Yeah, and I'm a
I'm
white
trying to be
Jewish
half-
dude from
yeah.
Queens, and I've been in LA and I get respected by a lot of people. But yeah, shout out Big U, man, and Crenshaw Rams and everything he does for the community and his family, man. His son's gonna go to the NFL. I just went to his son's prom the other day, and like he posted a picture, said, when you don't have to be blood to be family. It's fam. We've been fam for a long time, and we've been through a lot of stuff together, and it's just another chapter that's gonna be in the book,
And you want that pass, you better go see Big U.
So what's the changes that you've seen as far as, because you're managing, you're dealing with people on a day-to-day basis, but the games change and businesses evolve, if it's music, if it's entertainment. So how does that change for you?
Well, being in the game so long, I try to tell people that, and I don't want to copy off what Khaled says, the keys. I know Khaled since '95, but my success, or the keys to my success, was organization. You got to be organized in this game. Follow up. A lot of people don't follow up. Never take no for an answer. I never take no for an answer. Common sense, which is not common. Communication. You got to communicate. And then common sense, organization, follow up, never take a no for an answer. There was one more, man. Communication. Damn. Anyway, but I always try to tell people that less is more, and that quality is over quantity. and money comes and goes, but history stays. As long as we can make history, continue to make history, we're gonna make money. So I've seen the game evolve over 3 decades. So when I come in the game, I'm running with Run DMC, and I'm on tours with LL Cool J and Public Enemy, like Tough and Leather tours, and I'm thinking it's cool, but I'm like, how do I make money? I'm carrying records, I'm carrying Adidas bags, so on and so forth. Then, you know, I get a job at Relativity Sony, and I'm running with Fat Joe, and we're going to retail stores. And we're driving because he doesn't fly, and we're pulling up into the retail stores that are selling your product, and we're putting up posters, POP. We're giving out cassette samplers. We're giving out promo T-shirts. We're going to mix show radio. We're going to radio. We're going to do college radio. We're doing video secondary markets. We're doing retail stores, going to barbershops, going to projects, going to gyms, just giving out stuff. So we come from that, and it ain't push a button and I'm sending you a record. And then, you know, it evolves to digital, you know, and then, you know, digital came with, you know, ringtones. We won a Grammy off Riding Dirty with Crazy Born a Millionaire because it did so many ringtones. And then, you know, the internet comes, and, you know, next thing you know, like World Star, we broke Nipsey Hussle off World Star. So there's different things. Now we're living in the Spotify world. Everything's Spotify. You don't need to even be on a label or get on the radio. So I just think that you have to grow as time goes. And a lot of people are stuck in the past. And I call myself a dinosaur, but I call myself fossil fuel because I stay relevant. And I'm very innovative and creative, and I'm a leader, not a follower. So I don't follow a trend. If I believe in something, I'm going to go with my gut. I'm not going to worry about the opinions of people.
So you think now that there's a lot of management, is it really relevant to have a manager? Because a lot of people don't need managers these days.
Well, you know, look, man, I always believe that everybody needs a team, right? And together everybody achieves more. That's what team means. Mm-hmm. And, you know, years and years ago, the manager wasn't the guy, so to speak. Now there's a lot of managers because no one's selling records no more. So if you're a manager to a great artist that's touring, that's where the money's at, live performance and merch and branding and endorsements, you're going to get paid off that. You can make a lot of money if you're managing someone who's really got a lot going on. These days, there's a lot of young kids out here right now. They're making moves without a manager because they internet savvy. But when it comes to the business, they don't know the business. And there's a lot of young artists out here right now that are signed but don't know the business. And I've always said this throughout my career. I'd rather be on a cruise control than go up and then take a hard fall or be at the bottom and never make it up. The hard work pays off. But it's the music business. It's not the music industry.
Right.
We're not doing this for likes and followers and to look cool. People will sell their souls back in the days and snitch on their man for a check. These days, people will go against their best friend just to be cool on social media. Mm-hmm. But how many people really know about the business? How many producers know about splits or publishing or royalties or ASCAP or CSAC or BMI? How many artists know about ancillary rights or touring? How much an agent should get? How much the merch split should be at the venue? How many, you know, writers are getting what they deserve and they're writing these hit songs? So there's a lot of sides of the music business that most people throughout my career don't know about. They just want to get on to get a check, and they don't understand that advance is a loan. Or if you didn't get a 1099, you're going to be paying so much back to the IRS because you went and took that money and just didn't understand that. So, you know, I'm just trying to keep the culture alive and explain. That's why I do a lot of motivational speaking about the music business. We're in the music business, not the music industry. It's cool to look cool. It's cool for followers and likes because we didn't have social media. But learn the business, because then when you get a fucked up contract or your money's gone or this is gone, then you want to start pointing fingers. Point the finger at yourself. That's why it's very important to have a lawyer. A lot of artists just sign a piece of paper for that check. Everybody's like, yo, where the bag? Where the bag? If you believe in yourself, the bag will always be there.
It's always going to be there.
The bag will always be there. So look at the candy factory, not the candy. Everybody look at the candy. Everybody's like, oh, let me get what you got. What you got, 1,000, 2,000? When you're going to burn someone for a couple thousand when you could have made a couple million.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's For the Record, alongside Jamal, Eitan Shander, joined by Steve Lobel, and on the phone, Jay, Sneaker Sensei. You still with us, right, Sensei? He might have bounced. All right, so perfect time right now to take a quick break, and we'll continue the conversation, transition a little bit into sports as well, as Steve is a giant sports head. We'll get more stories.
I don't know why.
It is all For the Record.
Stop hating, PR.
And we are back. It is For the Record alongside Jamal, PR, Eitan, joined by a very special guest, Steve Lobel, in studio, and on the phones, Jay Sneaker Sensei. Sensei, I know that you were listening to Steve tell some stories and his thoughts and really experiences on a music business, and it's impossible for me to believe that you don't have at least one opinion on anything that had been discussed. So feel free to jump in if there's something that Steve mentioned, or maybe you have a question for him as well.
I just want to know Steve's, his secret to longevity and relevancy. A lot of people don't understand how difficult it is to be not only relevant in the industry today, but also keep a same level of excellence throughout the years. So Steve has done that. So I want to know who the secret is. People want to know what the secret is.
How you doing, sir? I appreciate that. A lot of people see me and they say, yo, you still look the same. And I tell everybody that I am the same. I never change. I never forget where I come from. I don't follow trends. But I try to hike 2 hours a day and drink a lot of water. But the longevity, I feel, is just having good karma and treating people the way they want to be treated. And if someone does disrespect me or play around me, I'm going to, react on it and let them know what it is. So it's all about not what you know, it's who you know, and it's building relationships. And I've built a long list of relationships in this game, some good, some bad, because not everybody keeps their word. But I just try to do good business, treat people the way I want to be treated, put everything in God's hands, and walk the walk, talk the talk, and just do what I say and follow up. And just, if something I can't do, I'll let them know. But I just try to keep my word and try to deliver. And I guess that whoever I crossed paths with, I kept my word and I did good business. And I guess it followed throughout the decades of my career.
That's a lost art form. And when I'm saying the art form of the follow-up, nobody follows up.
It's the worst, man. And all I do is follow up all day long. And it sucks when people don't follow up. Like I manage Scott Storch, so I got to follow up daily with A&Rs, daily with managers, daily with labels. And it's just following up. And I think that's the biggest thing that you need to be in the music industry or in life, but unfortunately everybody doesn't. So I weave through the game and deal with who I need to deal with. But a lot of people always say to me, like, how do you keep this longevity? Because a lot of people I came up with, they fell off, or they gave up, or they couldn't deal with it. And I deal with a lot of stress every day. Shit I dealt with today about something else, man. So I don't know, man. I'm a giver, I'm not a taker. I got some good karma, and I don't know, man. I just put myself in God's hands, man.
I'm gonna give you a name, an artist of today, and I want to know, what would you do for this artist because he stays in trouble? Kodak Black. If you had to get Kodak Black, what would you do with an artist like Kodak Black?
Well, that's a great question.
Really? He's a dope artist, man. Like,
you know what it is?
He just stays in trouble.
You know what it is? A lot of these artists, right? And I'm talking based off experience, right? Is that they have a lot of yes men around them, and dick riders, so to speak. And that's a big problem with the hip hop culture. That the entourages or the friends and stuff like that, they think everything's a party, and everybody's scared to tell the next guy, don't do this or don't do that, because they feel like they won't be the friend no more, they won't be around no more. And that's been a lot of downfall to a lot of artists, and not just Kodak Black. And if I came in, I would tell him how it is, and I would tell him the straight up truth, right to his face, because I'm a very intimidating guy, because I just tell the truth. And I have a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, so I'm like, look, I can take the horse to the water, but I can't make it drink. But just being real with somebody and telling them the facts and the truth and lay it out, and just not manipulate them and lie and bullshit and yes them, but explain and maybe paint the picture, and don't take no for an answer, and don't give up, and try to really help these people, because there's so many young artists out here and young kids out here that are heading down the wrong path in the road or making the wrong decisions. And that's why I do a lot of motivational speaking at juvenile halls and at drug rehab centers and colleges and high schools, because every kid wants to be in the music industry and rap and don't understand that. So I've been in the streets, I've been locked up, I've been through this, I've been through that, so I have a lot of experiences. So I would just tell them, yo, hold on. But the problem is, a lot of the people around, I'm like, oh, you're gonna come home, we're gonna make a movie, make this money. Most of the time, record companies don't even care about the artist, they just wanna make the money. And then when everybody gets cold at one time, no one lasts forever. And then when they get cold, everybody just turns their back You learn the hard way. And you know what? You didn't have to go through the experience. But I would just sit him down and keep it real with him from experience. And he might not even know me and trust me, but real recognize real sometimes. And if you're genuine with someone, you're genuine. But if you just everything's great. Oh, you're doing amazing. Oh, the song's great. Oh, yes, man. I was in the studio numerous amount of times with Bone Thugs. I've been with them 23 years. That should tell you the integrity. And I'm still with them till this day, and I always deal with stuff. And I've been in sessions, certain members would, drank a little too much, and the verses was fucked up. And everybody's still like, oh, shit hot. I'm like, what? Shit is fucked up. And they would come out and say, damn, Steve, you kept it 100. Like, and that's how I just gain respect by keeping it 100. Right. And I don't just say, oh, I'm keeping it 100 because it's a trend. I do keep it 100.
You don't get I'm coming to
do for the record show. 7:30. All right, I'm there at 7:15. You know what I mean? You give your word, you back up your word, you follow up, you communicate, you make sure everybody's on point, you just handle your business. It's just about business. If you worked at Citibank, or you were a school teacher, you worked as a fireman, you're not showing up late every day, you're not showing up high, you're not showing up drunk, you're not showing up with your homies. So treat this like business. It's business. When you buy a house, you sign a contract. Well, why don't you want to do contract in business? In the rap business. Oh, I want to manage you, but when you sign a contract, I'm cool. Like, real business is paperwork. Everybody gets scared and runs away when it comes to real business.
That's because when people get that contract in front of their face, 9 times out of 10, for people, because it's so fly by night, they're thinking of just fucking up the money before they're thinking of, so you put a contract in front of you, like, we're going to lock in for this amount of time, they're already looking at the outs. So a contract, like, because that's the state of business today, and I've encountered it more often than I've cared to, everybody's automatically looking for a chance to bail out.
Yeah, they shouldn't think like that. I have a thing, like, called Hip Hop Don't Know You, right? Coach PR keeps saying it, and a lot of people don't understand what I mean by that. I mean this, okay? And you're a white boy, you're a white kid in suburban area, in a rich neighborhood, and you got your pants off your ass, and you're saying an N-word and the fake chains and the hat backwards, because that's the lifestyle right now. That's the culture. Right. Social media, everybody's like that. And you say you rap. Well, you don't know who the Beastie Boys are or Third Base. To me, hip hop don't know you. Right. You understand? People want to say, hey, yo, you see how Young Thug dresses, or Lil Yachty, or this one, all that weird shit. I'm like, no disrespect, Andre 3000 dressed weird, but he was an incredible person. Right. And then I meet people from the Midwest, and you can relate with this. Proof from D12, rest in peace. If you don't know him from the Midwest, or you don't know MC Breed, rest in peace, and you don't know Dayton family from the Midwest, hip hop don't know you. You're from the Bay and you don't know Mac Mall and Digital Underground, hip hop don't know you. So I can go on and on, but I'm just trying to teach the younger generation to like understand that who's who did what, and hip hop is about graffiti and DJing and graffiti dancing and DJ break dancing, and that you should know. Yeah, you should know who's who and what's what. But these young kids, they don't care. The girls just want to be on Instagram showing off everything and trying to be a model and looking up to Kylie Jenner, which I no disrespect to them, and I respect the mother's business savvy, but what stripes and resume does this young girl have that why wouldn't you look up to a young girl who's got something going on that really is putting in work? And our society's so fucked up, and I say the internet is a gift and a curse, man. I like people who work hard and work hard for it and appreciate it, appreciate the dollar, appreciate water to brush your teeth, a pair of new socks, a fucking meal on the table. Because when you travel around the world like we have, there's people starving, don't have a fucking pair of sneakers, don't have $1 to eat, don't have fresh running water. But you gotta be a global artist to understand what I'm saying, because I've been around the world and back numerous amount of time with global artists that made a lot of money traveling the world. I would have never went to Prague and Estonia and Bahrain and fucking Sydney if I wasn't in the music game. I'd be in Queens. Who knows where I'd be?
Yeah. Where you can get food from all those places in Astoria. So you be in Queens, but there's plenty.
But it's good to travel the world.
International brain.
Yeah.
So I get real passionate about when I speak and what I do, because I have a lot of knowledge and experience. I want to give it back to the younger generation, because the younger generation is not focused, so to speak. There's a lot of kids growing up without a father in their life or a mother in their life because someone's incarcerated or on drugs, or young kids are having young kids, and there's no respect and there's no integrity, and it's just it's fucked up. And we're looking up to the wrong people, we're admiring the wrong people. The media, to me, is fucked up because they want to talk about all the negative stuff when this, like, meaning like negative chit chat, who's broke, who's fucking who's this, who's that, when we should be worrying about America and what's going on in the world and making it better. Like I say this, school teachers should make more money than any basketball player, because their job is to teach the younger generation, and the younger generation don't want to go to school because they think they're going to be a rapper or a basketball player. Not everyone's going to make it out the hood and become that, or even out of rich neighborhoods. I know rich kids that went to college is coming out and they want to get in the music industry and they can't even get a job. So hip hop, again, it made me who I was, even though I am who I am, but it fed a lot of people and it became into something. And hip hop is dominating everything, but understand it.
Jay, you with us?
Yeah.
It sounded like you wanted to jump in.
No, I was just listening, and I'm just looking at it, and I parallel what Steve was saying to the sports game too. You have a lot of
Yeah, entourage, as far as the surroundings of it. You're getting a little choppy on the connection.
It's a downfall. I've witnessed it and seen it, and that's why I could comment on it. You know what I mean?
Well, there's an interesting parallel as far as what you were saying as far as focusing on the extra, like the outside bullshit, as opposed to just like the meat. And we deal with it all the time in sports, because you can't watch an NBA Finals game and appreciate what's on the floor without being told that one or two of those guys isn't better than Jordan, or those guys can't beat a team in the 80s, or this guy's dating Khloe Kardashian. So even the games, it's been moving away.
Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got an
about
opinion,
bullshit.
Man. Everybody's got an opinion. You have to respect people's opinions, but I know what you're saying.
Well, not everybody's opinion, right?
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah. I mean, I respect
uninformed
everybody.
Opinions we could
only to me, only God could judge. I hate people who stereotype people, who are racist, who discriminate. I always get, why you think you black? Why you think you're hip hop? Why you talk like that? Why you walk like that? I said, you're a fucking ignorant motherfucker.
She said, bitch, because I am hip hop.
I said, you're an ignorant motherfucker. Like, especially living in LA as a white boy, because the white boys in LA are kind of nerdy. The white boys in New York are, swagged out. They've been to the island. They get tats. It's a different swag. But you say to me, why am I think I'm hip hop, or why am I dressing like this, and why do I think I'm black? Like, that's the stupidest shit. So again, I hate people who stereotype people. I wasn't raised like that. Yeah. But again, we have to understand something. Only God could judge, and everybody can have an opinion. I respect it. You don't like my shoes? Cool. If I don't like your shoes, cool. But it's an opinion. Let's not fight. Let's not stab each other. Let's not get mad at each other.
That's
what's going on right now. Yeah. People just getting upset when people are giving their opinions.
It's because it's a new generation of everybody feeling like they got to be fucking friends, or everybody has to be cool with everyone.
Cool, but you know what? It's not about.
No, social media ruined it for everybody.
Yep.
Social media ruined music. Social media ruined a lot of things. You ruined fashion. It ruined a lot of things. And you blame it on social media. Also, there was nobody checking these young kids like they used to when I grew up. I got checked. Everybody used to get checked. Nobody checks these kids no more.
I think we all grew up with OGs.
Acceptable.
Yeah, I feel I feel social media is a gift and a curse, because I'm a whore on Instagram. But I feel like if you know how to use it, we can curse, right?
Well, yeah.
You've been cursing the whole time. Now you want to ask?
I think you said fuck a couple of times earlier.
We can curse, right? Matt, can we curse? But if you use it in a good way, like I found this. I was raised by OGs. The new generation
raised by IG. Yes.
So
that's real.
It's all good.
Well, technology is always neutral, right? It's just how you use it. It's how you apply it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have TV shows that are for nature and education. You could have movies that are just
teach his own.
Getting cut
You're either
up.
gonna watch Love and Hip Hop, or you're gonna go watch Pitbull and Parolees, or you're gonna go watch Jeopardy.
You got to think too on social media that you might get in a conversation with a 13-year-old, 12-year-old behind that keyboard, and you don't even know that.
Exactly.
So all that they're yelling and coming at you, it could be like a 10-year-old, like just let me just fuck with
some little kid on Xbox Live talking fly.
Right, and we couldn't speak when we were younger. Like we had to ask permission. Can I speak?
Well, that's the thing, right? To Sensei's point, you can't check somebody who's behind a computer.
Right.
I'm
because
glad
they'll
that
just come right back and say, whatever.
Right.
I'm glad that guys like us were able to weather the storms through the eras of social media, non-social media, non-cell phones to cell phones, non-computers to computers. Like, we've been through that. I'm blessed like that.
I'm so happy.
I would have never saw that,
right.
So yes. I'm glad I was able to go through all that, because I used to hate using payphones, recorders, and the beeping, man.
Yeah. When you get that beep, right?
No, and also I feel like we're blessed. Most of us in here, and I speak for myself. I know Coach PR has to say the same. Like, some of the best stories within the sports and hip hop game that I have in my memories came about before that camera phone was invented.
Absolutely.
And it's passed through word of mouth and storytelling, and that's how you spark up real conversations. Because before the camera bullshit, we all used to connect as people. Like, you used to always go to places and conversate. And like, you go to now, you got a group of 7 motherfuckers and they all on the phone.
Everybody on the screen.
That's why I'm single. Well, not single, but that's what, when you're in relationships, they're like, you're always on the phone, but we have to be. But you're right. We used to conversate, network, and politics. Now it's like everybody's on the phone. Everybody wants a picture. They want to do an Instagram
Steve,
story,
when I talk about on the phone, if you're handling your business, you
Right.
get phone calls. I'm talking about these are 4 people standing next to each other, all checking
Scrolling through
Instagram.
timelines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're right.
Or at
you're
dinner,
right,
like
you're right.
my family, we stop with the phones. No
I love
phones
that,
at the
yeah.
dinner table. So we end that right
No,
there.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that old scene in Don't Be a Menace, right? Where he pages the cat next to him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
He's like, you ready to roll?
Yeah,
He's like, yo, you
yeah,
paged me?
yeah.
He's like, I mean, now that's it now.
That was
He's
it.
like, I might
That
just
was
send
it.
him all a text sitting right next to him.
Right.
Like, all right, we're out.
Yo, you good?
Yeah, all
You
right.
ready to roll?
And then we it.
Yeah, I gotta ask Sensei, Odell. You seen Odell's cleats? Did anybody see them yet?
Which pair? He has about 7. He has 7. He has 7. He has 7.
He's Mr. Rogers status. He
Wait,
changes twice a day.
He just got a
new deal.
A new deal, the highest
Yeah.
paid deal right now for that. So matter
well,
of fact,
first of all,
wait.
Coach,
Coach, here's what we're
Hold
gonna
on,
do.
hold on.
PR's
We gotta
radio.
come back.
a long
He knows the
conversation.
art of the
Let's-
tease.
Let's come back to
We
it.
gotta come back to that. We gotta come back to that, Sensei. I gotta come back to that. I just wanted to ask you that real quick, and we're gonna come back to that because we already got that finger.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to end the show, all right? So we want to thank Steve Lobel for popping in.
We're done?
We're going to come back. No, see, here's the thing. You're going to come back next week and do a whole nother show with us. Yeah, you didn't know that. PR's going to hang out with us. Jamal's going to hang out with
I'm
us.
gonna be here.
We're going to chat with Sensei as well.
I
and
might
it's
not
all-
be here. I got to go back to LA for Tupac.
Well, we're going to get on that as well,
talk
all
about
right?
that
We got
too.
a lot more to talk with Steve about. It is all for the record.
Yeah.